Tonight on The Big Idea, life is about selling, and you're in it to close. Everyone has something to sell. A thing, an idea, a dream. And sealing the deal is the only path to the life you want. The cartoons of making the sale are all around us. Steve Carell working the phones in the office.
All right, done deal. Thank you very much, sir.
But selling is no joke. Selling is power, and the powerful use it for everything from the worst manipulation to selling the highest ideals on earth.
Tear down this wall.
For most of us, the biggest sale we'll ever make is selling ourselves. And the most important customer you'll ever have is you. You have to sell yourself to you, because you'll never feel the confidence to live your bigger life if you don't make that sale. So, are you game?
I don't care who you are or what you do. Everyone in the world is in sales. We're all in it. Every single day of your life, you're selling something. So how do you do it? How do you go from being poor, maybe just average at selling, to becoming a master? Tonight we're going to show you. We're going to cover every angle on the art of selling. And it all starts with selling yourself.
Lisa Robertson has sold millions of dollars worth of merchandise as one of the all-star hosts of QVC with her own show, PM Style.
Lisa, you're selling 93 million people are buying every night, and you say it starts with you assume everyone likes you.
Isn't that great? I have a job where I just get to look at a camera and assume everyone likes me. It's fabulous.
But is that key in anything where you have to kind of walk in and say, they're going to like me and kind of carry that whole thing about you?
You know, I think whenever you approach someone with anything like this, usually it's because you're afraid they're not going to like you. If I'm uneasy, if I'm tense, I approach you like this, therefore then you're not comfortable with me. Or if I walk in and go, Donnie, how are you? Then I just assume you like me and I act like you like me and then you probably do like me. Yeah, but and then if you like me, then you're going to listen to what I have to say.
But do I have to worry about then if I kind of lean on my personality and then people like me that you're a little silly? Hey, how you doing? And
no, I think silly's good.
You like that?
I do, because I think whenever you take yourself too seriously, who wants to deal with you?
Right.
I mean, then you're like a caricature on one of the shows. People selling things. I'm important. I'm selling things on, the phone. You want to be fun. If it's silly, it's great. Whenever somebody is themselves, and if you're a little silly, be yourself, then people are going to relate to that.
Part of your formula also is, we talk a lot about confidence on the show, that you have to, how do you send off confidence in a sell?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is experience. I've been doing it a long time, so I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing. And then you're not thinking about how you're doing it. You're in the moment, you're having a great time, you're talking about things you love, you're working with great people, and you're not thinking about the selling. You're having a good time, you're in the moment, you're confident with what's going on, and people are involved.
So along those lines, if Lisa Robertson is selling this big idea, handsome glass.
That is just the most handsome glass
ever. Are you selling the glass, or are you selling Lisa?
Both.
How do you mean?
Both. Well, number one, if they don't like the glass, there's nothing I can say to change your mind. If you don't want a glass, you're never going to drink for the rest of your life anything out of a glass. There's nothing I can say is probably going to make you want it.
Okay, so I'm going to go on the assumption you know how to sell the attributes, but when you say you're selling yourself, what do you mean? What are you actually doing?
Well, I think that you're selling yourself as someone who is credible to give somebody else information. You have to believe that I'm someone you want to listen to, and then you're going to be receptive to what I have to say. And when you listen, then you're going to get the information you need. But if I'm not somebody that has any business talking to you, if your first impression is who are you and why I don't believe anything you have to say, it's a moot point.
But I buy from you because I like it. You have a great personality. Somebody at home is watching, well, Donnie's probably a great salesman. He's got this big personality. I know Trump is, you are.
Yeah.
It's easy for people with huge personalities to make the sale. But what do you do if you're a little more shy?
Donna Flack is a guest instructor at NYU who spent more than 15 years in sales before starting the Chrysalis Group, a consulting firm with Fortune 500 clients that helps people find the inner confidence to sell themselves.
Okay, I'm watching at home. I'm not a salesman. I don't have that salesman personality. I can't sell, right?
Not right.
Why?
Because there are a lot of different types of people, and I think as soon as we ascribe to this notion that one size fits all, and that there has to be one way of doing things, I think we get ourselves into trouble. So I think there are a lot of ways to relate to customers, and there are a lot of ways to communicate messages without being bigger than life.
But first thing you say is, you have to understand who you are coming into the room. You say to yourself, ask what makes me good.
Right.
How do you mean?
Well, I think if you were to position any product and you go to position yourself, the things you have to do are pull out the qualities, pull out the attributes, name them, figure out what makes it good and what makes it sellable and what will make someone want it. Well, so every good salesperson will say they have to know their product. So the same thing can go if you're selling yourself. You have to know yourself.
Okay, so you're saying the same thing that works with a product works with yourself.
Yes.
And you say, what makes me who I am? What do I bring to the table? So for somebody at home, let's say, if they are a little more shy, they're not a good salesperson, I can't sell, I don't have confidence, how do they go through that exercise?
But they can, because if you first look at yourself and say, again, I think one of the biggest opportunities for people is to assess first kind of who are we? You know, who am I? What do I bring? What makes me good? What makes me sellable? Everyone has it. Everyone in the world has those things. So if you do that and then you figure out what the words are, you wrap the words around a language to describe yourself, then you've got your message, and then you just have to start practicing. I mean, you have to just do it. Not everybody has to do it in this bigger than life, presentation.
So what you're saying is kind of an ordinary person can be a great salesperson. How does an ordinary person become an extraordinary salesperson?
Kendra Scott had no experience in sales until she put herself to the test and discovered a talent for selling millions with her jewelry line, Kendra Scott Jewelry.
All right, Kendra, you're beautiful, you're outgoing, you seem extraordinary now. Let's put up the picture of you early on. You were anything but the quintessential salesperson.
So embarrassed.
Oh, look at that.
So tell me about you as a kid.
I was legally blind in my right eye. I wore those big glasses. My head was too big for my body. I was awkward. I had to have a personality to make friends. So I would walk into a room and just be as colorful and happy as I could be.
So were you almost overcoming for a lack of confidence, or you had that confidence?
I think that when I looked in the mirror, I didn't have it. I had great parents who kept telling me, you are beautiful, wonderful, confident, fabulous woman. It's inside of you. Just go get them. And even today when I'm nervous, I hear that little voice. I hear my dad in the back of my head. You're beautiful, confident, and fabulous,
So does it go back to what Lisa says, that when you're selling your jewelry, are you selling, I'm beautiful, I'm confident, I'm wonderful? Am I selling, you like me? Am I selling the jewelry? What are you selling?
I don't sell the jewelry. I sell me. I sell this colorful person who loves what they do, who's passionate about what they do, and people want part of that. And if they can put that on their wrist and that transfer of energy gets put to them, they're sold.
Okay, let's talk about the art sale. Nobody knows better than this next guy.
Joe Maloof is the eldest son in a family business that owns everything from the Palms Casino in Las Vegas to the Sacramento Kings. And his family built this empire by knowing the fundamentals of selling.
Joe, the Maloof fundamental of selling: listen to the other guy, the other person, be plugged in one-on-one.
And then have a product that you believe in, have confidence in yourself, and then when you do sit down with that customer, make sure that what you tell them is the truth. And you're selling yourself, you're selling your integrity. People want honesty in this day and age. They want somebody that's going to tell them the way it is and the facts about how they're going to be able to help a customer sell their product.
Joe, along the lines of honesty, I'm going to bring it back also. I always felt the best way to sell sometimes is to say to a client, no, this might not be right for you. I got to find something else for you. That gives credibility when you come back. Do you use honesty to the point where sometimes you pass up a sale?
Absolutely, because if you're not honest 100%, then the customer's not going to be happy with what you told them. Something's going to go wrong with the sale. It's just not going to work out, and then he'll never trust you again. So your credibility is the most important thing that you have.
Joe, I also want to talk, and I want to bring back to the panel here the P word: preparation, preparation, preparation. Tell me how you make that work for you in the Maloof family.
Well, you have to know your customer, know what their needs are, know what they're trying to get accomplished, and then sit down and visit with them and cater to them. The word cater bothers a lot of people. It doesn't bother us. If a customer isn't happy or if the sale didn't go right, they can get on the phone and call me, call my brothers, and we'll be there to take care of it.
All right, Joe, always be selling. What's the Maloof Money Cup, buddy?
Well, it's a collection of the world's greatest skaters. The top 35 skaters alive. We're going to have a contest July 11th, 12th, and 13th in Orange County. We'll bring them all together. The largest purse in the history of skateboarding, $500,000. First prize is $100,000 on the street, and then on the vert, that's another $100,000. So it's going to be a spectacular event, and we're real proud of it.
I love it. Always be selling. Okay, here the playbook plays. Confidence is key in selling. Confidence in yourself and confidence in what you're selling. There is no compromise when it comes to honesty. No grays there. Be your authentic self. Even if you're a shy person, it's the most effective personality you bring to selling. Got a lot to sell tonight. More big ideas straight ahead.
But everything you thought you knew about closing a deal be wrong.
The sale starts the minute you walk out the door.
In your life, who's the most important person you have to sell? A customer, someone you work with, your spouse, yourself. Go to bigidea.cnbc.com and cast your vote.